Open. Hopefully it goes live to YouTube. It says we're live. Hi. We're not showing up on YouTube yet, but hi.
Hello. We're probably live though.
I know I'm not Aaron. I'm filling in because something came up, so I'm filling in for the live discussion on Lone Woman by Victor Lavalle.
Ooh.
I love this cover so much. I don't know why.
I'm kind of meh.
Really? I want to know
I'm just so
everything
hard
since
to
you're...
impress these days.
Okay.
I was like, meh. But
So,
give me Peter V. Brent and I will like binge read that series and put myself through torture.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, you'll read that, but this was meh. Okay. Oops.
Oh, you're okay.
Yeah, I just didn't want to cough in your ear. I'm sorry. Yeah, we read for this month is June, right? June, Victor
Yep.
Lavalle. And I really like Victor Lavalle. I've read a couple of his works, so I was curious to get everybody else's opinion. Because this is technically, they call it like a horror western, which I thought was interesting. That's what it's tagged as on Goodreads, I believe.
Yeah, it's technically true.
Yeah. I have to say I did like the western parts.
I think my favorite part was the opening.
Yes.
Other than that, I don't care.
Yeah, the opening.
As soon as the thing got out of the
all his books are like
suitcase,
that.
that's where I stopped caring. I was like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. But the story is about, is it Adelaide?
It's
Adelaide
Adeline?
Henry.
Adelaide Henry.
Yeah, I always messed up the names. That's why I wrote everything down. This book basically opens up with the craziest opening that I've ever seen in a book. I was really interested when I saw the opening. I was like, I'm invested. I want to know.
Yeah. I feel like once you actually see what's in it, it kind of defeats it. No, I think I would say it was a
very
twist
interesting
that
when you
kind of
didn't
ruined it
know.
for me.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was like an alligator type thing.
Yeah, I was surprised how early we found out what is in her trunk. She
Can we give
basically,
spoilers?
maybe wait,
Okay, maybe we wait a little bit later.
yeah, a couple minutes. But basically, it's a western where she goes off to start a new life in Montana. She was from California, and she's dragging this trunk with her. And that's not a spoiler because it's in the first page. I don't think anything in the first chapter is a spoiler, personally. When you're describing something.
I think the parents, you can't say anything about the parents.
Yeah, I don't think, like, when we get to spoilers, we can definitely talk about that, because...
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like
I'm curious.
she's fleeing her homestead, leaving her farm behind, going to somewhere in the Midwest, like
Montana.
Montana. And she's basically starting a new life there. And then she meets some characters along the way.
That's one way to put it.
And that's so I would say there is no plot. It's
It's
more
more
character
character-driven,
driven.
I think. Yeah.
So like it's hard to talk about like a plot for it because once she gets to Montana, everything else is just like character interaction, how she's gonna deal with like this suitcase that she's looking around, what's in the suitcase, what if it
And
gets
how heavy
out.
it was, because they kept on bringing up how heavy the suitcase was. Like,
I
for the
mean,
first 10
when
or
you
15
find out what's in it, of course, that's why it's heavy.
Right. But I liked he writes atmosphere very well. Like, when they were trying to figure, like, when you as the reader are trying to figure out what's in the suitcase or the trunk, you're like, is it just her having, like, not remembering doing things? Because
Yeah, is it like a
that's what I thought,
metaphor?
like a third way into it, when a scene
Yeah.
comes up where she's with the guy.
Mhm.
I was like, maybe when she falls asleep, she doesn't realize she does it. Because that's what I thought at first. Because it always, something always happened when after she would go to sleep.
Hmm.
So I was like, maybe it's her not realizing she's doing stuff while she's sleeping at first because we didn't know what was in the trunk.
Yeah, I would say I was thinking more like, is it a metaphor for something? Is it
Yeah,
like a big misdirect that nothing's actually in the suit, like in the trunk? Or I was thinking, well, is this like a evil entity or something that is like is like captured in this box? Because like
yeah,
when you first see like someone flip us like, I forgot, almost unlatch it partially, she freaks out.
the Mudges.
Oh,
When,
yes. Oh, that was with the 3 blind sons, right? That were
yeah, the four blind sons when they had the thing tied around their eyes to make it seem like
yeah.
they were blind.
And so that's what I was kinda thinking. Or
Yeah.
maybe and 2, it was really cool how, Victor used a setting to build tension.
Mhm.
Because when she's actually in Montana, you actually do really believe that the land is essentially trying to kill them.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's very desolate.
it's very desolate. She had, like, weird people coming around, like, you can tell, like I said, "Yeah, I probably would've gone somewhere else, to be
Yeah.
honest." But
Especially by
you can
yourself.
tell you can tell a lot of people there had almost, like, a lot of secrets to hide
Pasts.
or pasts to run away
Yeah.
from.
Yeah. Because later on it gets into the past with the teacher and the son,
Yeah.
like what happened. And that was actually, I mean, I guess we can get into spoilers. We're almost 10 minutes in, so I guess we can slightly get into spoilers. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. If you want to read this book, we love you, but we're going to go into spoilers because we need to with this because it's not long and
I mean,
there's
like,
not
there's
much you
nothing
can
really
say
to talk
without
about if you don't mention the spoiler.
I know.
It's like there's nothing you can say about like,
It's
"Well,
only
like, this
280
happened."
pages.
So, Alicia, I will give you the honors. What is a big spoiler?
Okay, the first one is that she basically, the book opens up with her parents being dead. They don't really explain much, that just her parents are dead laying in their bed. And she leaves to go to Montana from California. Doesn't say much, drags this trunk thing with her. And you basically find out, again, spoiler, 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 that the trunk is holding her sibling slash dragon thing. I don't know what it's, or entity, whatever you want to call it. Like they don't really specify what it is. It's just something that has wings and claws, and like, they
Yeah,
don't
like
really
a
specify.
dragon mixed with a
Yeah,
bird that looks like a human in the face a little bit.
yeah, and like because everybody kept on saying you could see the similarities. You could see the similarities. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
From what you're describing, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. It was just like, but the best part for me was because she was a single woman or is a single woman. A bunch of guys when she first moves to Montana basically try to court her, I guess. How would you like they want to take her on dates? The
Like, for
Western version of
her, or
dates?
maybe I felt like they were sizing her up. I feel like
Yeah.
that's what everyone in that area was kinda doing, like, the person who drove her up to the mountain and stuff like that.
He
Because I
was
remember there was a
creepy.
situation where she thought he stole something at one point, but it
Yeah.
wasn't actually, or, like, tried to peek in the trunk to see why it was so heavy. I kinda feel like everyone was kinda sizing her up, and she
I'm
kinda
curious
realized that too.
which one was trying to peek in because the lock was messed with.
That
The
was, when she was with the 3 with the
That's what
blind
I thought.
boys, and they
Okay.
got off or something happened, and they didn't continue on, but then he was like, "Oh, I'm obliged to take you XYZ."
Yeah.
I think that was the moment I remember. I
Yeah.
could be
Because then
wrong.
they
I think
because that
that's
was the time when they were traveling that the Mudges, which is a family of a mother and 3 or 4 kids.
Is that the same family that Joab?
Mhm.
Okay, I thought so.
That's the mother. Yep.
I thought so. I was like, isn't it the same when they came back up through the story? I'm
I was
sorry,
like,
like that
"Damn."
whole storyline with the mother and Joab and his journey. I was like, this is ridiculous.
That was the only part that bugged me. I was like, I don't care that he gets a happy ending. I was like,
Like
I
he
don't
literally
care.
kills his bro. Oh, sorry. Okay,
No,
we're
no,
not
we
that
can
far yet.
we can jump around. It's fine.
Like when he literally kills his brother so he can be known as a strangler.
That was creepy. Like I'm like,
Like he made a
and then you
deal with with was it Elizabeth was his sister's name?
Elizabeth was the sister's name, and the guy who was part of the Stranglers was I have the name here. Jack and Jareen or Jareen
That
Reed.
sounds familiar. Yeah,
Yeah,
something like that. Like his whole storyline, especially when we first got introduced, like when they came back into the story, how they shot that poor mother's hand,
I
like
know.
through the bone. I was like, she's a
Grace
single
and
mother. What
Sam.
does she have
Yeah, Grace
that's
and
worth
Sam
getting?
Price. They were the only people that were nice to her in the first half. Like everybody
And
else, like
even when they first met, she was like, Adelaide was like, "Who are you?" And this woman's like, "I'm judging you. You
yeah,
should have
I
all
know,
this solved.
right?
That you should have all this solved. What are you doing?"
I thought it was funny that they got busted because the little boy was looking in the window
It wasn't
when
a
they first
little.
came to
Wasn't a
her
little
house.
boy trans, right? It wasn't.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
yeah,
I thought so.
because they didn't that wasn't revealed to the end. I
Yeah.
had to say that kind of surprised me a little, but it made sense because of how
Have you
everybody
read?
acted and they weren't allowed in school.
This is so off tangent. Don't want to give a spoiler for it. Have you read the Adventures of Amina El Sarafi yet?
Hmm.
I like that reveal. I like
Yeah,
that. I
me
can't
too.
say I like that plot twist in that one way
Yeah,
more than in this one because I was like,
I
I
just
you
thought
could
it was
tell by
weird
the
that
end
they
of the
waited to
book,
the
like
end
Victor
for
Laval
that.
didn't know where to take the plot.
Yeah, like for this one specifically, I thought it was weird that they waited till the end for that reveal.
Yeah, with the I can't remember how it ended. Like the lone woman metaphor, it ties back in.
It ties back in with because the character that I really did like was the other black woman that was part of the settlement,
Grace? Oh,
Bertie Brown.
Birdie?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Bertie Brown, and I really really liked that. Like she was like, "I'm gonna fix your hair because your hair looks awful," or like she just sounded like a an aunt to me or a grandma.
Yeah.
Like she had that type of like mentality of just I'm gonna fix your hair no matter what. I was like, yeah,
Yeah, that was good. That was a good one. I think I think where I was disappointed with it, once we got the reveal of, like, what the creature was and we got the backstory,
yeah.
I felt like once it was let out, it was kinda like, "Okay, that's it." And
It just
like,
it
things
flew
can kinda
off and
ramp up at
disappeared
the
for like two
end.
months. I was like,
It
wait,
kind of it kinda ramped up at the end, but by that point, I was like, "Okay, this is." I think the problem was, like, too many characters
for how short it
way
is.
too quickly, 'cause
Yeah.
we start with Adelaide, we should've stayed with Adelaide, not branched off and followed Joab,
And then
'cause
we
I felt
branched
like
off
his
and
story
followed
we followed the
Grace
couple,
and
right?
Sam. Grace and Sam, the mom and
Yeah,
son.
and then we didn't we follow there was, like, those that theater? Who is
Yeah,
that?
that's the Reeds.
The Reeds, and then we
The
started following
Reeds.
the Reeds, and it's like, by the time I was like, "Okay." And, like, Joab holding Christopher hostage, I was like, "What is going on
That
right
was so
now?"
weird. That part was so weird to me. I'm like, wait, because it kind of seemed like something you wouldn't want to read was gonna happen, and I was like, please no,
I was like
because
and the fact that Christopher was like, "Yeah, I know you might kill me, but at least I wanna do something that I love." I was like,
like and pulls
"What?
out the articles. I was like, that's a very calm way to be like, I'm gonna get murdered.
How old is this kid?
I think 10 or 12.
What 10-year-old would you know would be that calm?"
Joab is only 13. I was like, I thought he was the oldest one for the while, and then he was like, my 13th birthday was
I
yesterday.
thought
I
he
was
was
like, wait, what?
18.
Yeah. I was like, hold on. But I really liked, and this is going back a little bit, like the spirit or the ghost aspect with the parents.
Mhm.
That like when she was felt really alone, she would hear her father's voice and stuff like that, and the mom like telling her to like buck up, pretty much.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, like
I didn't get why the parents wanted to kill Elizabeth all of a sudden that one fateful
like what?
day.
That's my question: is what happened that made them want to go? Okay,
Yep,
today's the
yep.
day, not
Let
31 years prior.
I was like, when that baby turned out like a half demon dragon with wings, I was like, okay, you know what you need to do. Like, I'm sorry.
I'm
Like, because
sorry,
if
I
that
don't
thing
want
gets
something with
bigger, it's going
claws.
to kill
Thanks.
all of us. That was the crazy part. I was like, why keep this? Like, because you can never let a half dragon humanoid with wings.
Like I just that's my thing is like I was interested, but it wasn't delved into. Like I
Oh,
wanted
it
to know.
was
Yeah.
because they made that deal, the
Right.
parents,
Right.
for the 2 girls,
But
and that was
my
part of the
question
deal.
was, is the Reeds also had a child that was like Elizabeth, and that
That's
wasn't touched
true.
on.
That's true,
Like
that
it
wasn't.
was brought up in a conversation when she was with when she tried to adopt Joab or however you say his name,
Yeah, Joab.
and I was really confused. I'm like, and it's really creepy that you have like a dress for a baby in a crib in the attic, just sitting there. But like also, I would never want to go through that just in general.
Yeah.
But it's just like, were they related since they had the same issue? If you
I
would
don't
even
know.
call it an issue, like birth defect. I don't know
Because
what
weren't
you
they
would call
both women?
it. Yeah.
Like, technically?
Hmm.
I think it's like a commentary on, like I could, like, dig deeper into this, but I don't really want to because I didn't enjoy it that much.
But that's what I wanted. I wanted to go there, and it just didn't seem to fully go there.
I feel like it's there, but I think he doesn't connect the dots for you.
Yeah.
That's
I
what I
mean,
think. That's what I think where a lot of people maybe get to the end and be like, "That's it," because he
yeah.
doesn't spell out what was the
Yeah.
point of the whole novel. That
Exactly.
maybe women don't have the same, like, happy ever afters or same agency in the world as Joab.
Yeah.
That he was able to walk away from all this and have his happily ever after everything that he did.
And then
Whereas
basically said
Adelaide
that he
is
wanted to rate Sam, and I was like, why? Like,
and then Adelaide is, like, always tied to this creature, this monster.
responsibility. That this is my take on it. Women have more responsibility than men. At
I
least that
think
was
so.
like
Maybe?
a subset of what he was trying to say. Because
Mhm. Yeah, because there were a lot of female characters that
which I
had prominent
appreciated.
positions.
Yeah, like what's her name, Grace with Sam's
Chris.
father.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting that Sam told her that just randomly.
Mhm.
I was like, but again, kids just say stuff, and you're just like, wait, what? Like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
Look, honestly, like it's not bad. It's just I like I think the 5 stars was from like when I just finished it and I was like, wow. And now that I sit with it, I'm like, maybe it's a 4.
Okay, 4 I can see. I can see a
Yeah.
4. I was like when I saw your 5, I was like, "Alicia, we can't be friends anymore. This is not a
I
five-star
really liked it
read."
at first, and it's been like 4 days since I finished it, and I'm just like, I
That's
don't know.
like I wanna see what the average is on Goodreads because I don't think it's gonna be high.
Let me look.
I could be wrong because I'm, like, definitely gonna be a minority when it comes to, like, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree.
The only two things I can see with Legends and Lattes is you either love it or you don't. There's no like in between, it seems like.
Wait, did I actually add this book to my Goodreads? I don't think I did.
Hold on. I can tell you in a second.
Okay, yeah, it's 3.77. I
Okay, so
figured.
it's a little higher than middle. Because I think like 3.5 is like in between.
It's crazy, but a lot of people that I know just love it. That's why I was really hyped when I saw Bethany from Beautifully
Yeah.
Bookish Bethany, when she said it was really good.
I heard that it was really good, and then one of my friends gave it 2 stars. So I was like, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I can be convinced to give it a 4.
Yeah.
That's me
I just
being nice.
yeah, like I think I'm gonna knock it down a little bit to a 4 because as it, like when I first finished it, I was like, wow, this is awesome because I like his other work. And as I've been sitting with it, like I had to re-listen to like the last 5 chapters because it just left my brain.
I feel like I had to listen to this audiobook on really slow speed.
I was on 1.5.
I was like on I think I maxed out around 2, which is low for me.
I know, yeah.
That's, like, really low for me
I
because
really
I
like the
didn't have the
audiobook
physical
narrator.
copy because I would have bumped it up to 3 and
Yeah,
just, like, went to the races, but, like, since I didn't, I was like, "Okay, let me slow it down."
I really like
'Cause
the
it's
audiobook
dense for the
narrator.
characters.
Yeah,
I
she
feel like
does
it's,
a.
like, a book I need to come back and maybe do a reread.
It's one of those that I think once I sit on it for a little bit, I will read it maybe like next year and maybe pick up on more. I
Yeah.
feel like on rereads you pick up on more. And the first time you read
It's
it, you're just trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
yeah, I just sometimes I don't love that when books do that because 'cause I'm
Yeah,
not a big rereader. So, like, for
that
me to go
surprises
back
me.
to this book, I
Yeah.
don't think I reread very often. Like, once I
Okay.
read it in one format, that's why, like, it bothers me when a book drops on ebook and paperback and then doesn't have an audio, and then the audio drops, like, 6 months later.
Or
I'm
two
like, I
years.
already read the book.
Yeah.
Like, I don't wanna go back and re-listen to the audio because then I'm like, "Oh, wait, I didn't like this as much as I thought I did."
If you
Or I
liked
had
her,
different what?
good, good.
Or, like, I thought I liked certain things, but I ended up not.
Yeah. If you like the audiobook narration though, she does. I can't remember the audiobook narrator's name at the moment, but she
Oh, I
does a
know.
book that I loved, Jackal by
Oh, it's
Aaron M.
Journeys.
Yeah, by Aaron M. Evans. That's good. Like
She
it's a
reminds
thriller.
me of, like, a Bon Me Turpin,
Yeah.
Django Lavoie
Yes. Yep.
voice.
But I
I think the
definitely would
narrator,
recommend
she
you
was
because you like
amazing.
thrillers. Read Jackal by Aaron. I think it's Aaron M. Evans
I think I read another book by her that I hated.
by
I
Aaron
think
M.
the one
Evans. She just
no,
this
by
is her.
Jonice Albert Pratt is the narrator for this one.
Okay, let me see.
Wait, I forgot what book she may have not have done it, but it was, The Other Black Girl.
Oh, I didn't like that book either.
I was like, I hated that book.
Um, it's Aaron E. Adams. I'm sorry, the
Okay.
author of Jackal. Highly
I
recommend
seen that book.
read
I
it.
seen that book.
It's great. I understand why people. I understand why people either love it or hate it. I completely understand because of the subject matter.
I feel like
But
literary fiction books are always gonna be hit or miss.
this was
Like,
more like
some, it
this was
just
more like a
works.
family thriller.
Yeah. I definitely agree when you said it was, like, more literary horror.
Yeah,
That
and
makes more sense.
that's his bread and butter is literary horror.
Because literary fiction in general, it depends so wildly on that's like you can't pay attention to reviews for literary
Yeah,
fiction. Like, if it's
yeah,
your
because taste is
jam
so different. when it comes to that.
Like, I forgot the book. It was Celeste Ng. Like, I love her books, but I can totally get why other people might
Yeah,
hate
I
them.
tried with her books and I got like 5 chapters in and I was like, nah.
Like, I love Little Fires Everywhere.
I was the one I DNF'd.
I
I
love
was like,
that
I
book.
don't understand why everybody loves this. I must be missing something.
That's the thing, like, literary fiction, like, that's the thing, it's like, it's gonna be to people's taste.
Yeah,
That's why it's so hard when a book is
yeah.
like it's different when it's like genre, like when it's just horror or a thriller. I just kinda hate when they cross-contaminate the 2. Like, it's
Yeah,
literary
Jackal is
horror.
not literary at all. It's a small town suspenseful horror.
Yeah. It's just like
Like,
I think for like like if you're looking for like horror, you're
mhm,
not gonna get it in Lone Woman, like, even though
no.
that's what it's billed as.
If you want to try horror and see if you like it, I would definitely recommend starting out
Yeah.
with a literary horror. If you read literary fiction, if you like literary fiction, I would and you want to try like dip your toes into it, this is where I would recommend maybe you starting.
I don't know, I just love my family dramas.
Well, that's why I think you'll like Jackal because a lot of it is interconnected family drama that you don't think is connected, but is. But it's
Yeah.
but it's surrounding like it's not a spoiler to say this. It's surrounding like corruption in this small town, and it's really interesting.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this book. Yeah, I think it's on my
Yeah,
TBR.
I really recommend it. And the creepy part is that the town isn't far from where I grew up. That she bases it in.
Stop. Is
Yeah.
recommended you should have led with is recommended by Gillian Flynn.
Uh huh.
That's my
Is that good
queen.
or bad for you?
I love I
Okay.
have been waiting for Gillian Flynn to release another book,
I
but she
really
just
liked
hasn't.
what was the big one?
Gone Girl?
Yes, that one I really liked.
You haven't read anything yet. Read her, Dark Places.
Okay.
That book is dark.
Yeah. You have to be in
I
the right
mean,
mindset kind of book.
even I was just like, "Ooh, okay, this is dark."
Yeah.
That one's really good. I think it was turned into a movie, but the movie is not that good.
The Dark Places movie because it's got Charlize Theron in it. I did see the
It's not the
commercial
book
for it.
is better. I think the book is better,
Usually
but it's
99.9% of the time that's the way I go.
it's so sad. That book is so sad.
What about the other one she did, Sharp Objects?
I didn't love that one as much, but
Okay.
I know that some people really the mystery about who's behind it is pretty obvious.
Okay. Because
It's
I did see
alright.
that it was turned into like an HBO miniseries or something. I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
I just saw that it was
I
turned into a
I
miniseries.
couldn't make it. I was like, it's like the book, it's too slow. That one's like
Okay.
more literary like a
I feel like
thriller.
all her books got picked up because Gone Girl did so well as a film.
But Gone Girl, like I envy if anyone gets that book spoiled for them. I feel so bad because, like
I was literally by myself in my mom's house when I listened to the audiobook of Gone Girl, and I literally was like, holy crap.
and the thing is, it works when you reread
Mhm.
it. That's the thing, whereas, like, most thrillers, like, if you know the twist,
Like,
the
I'm
whole
not a
book is not
rereader of
good.
thrillers. Like, I'll
But
reread other
Gone
genres, but
Girl,
thrillers, no.
the way she, like, expertly, like, weaves you even if you know what's coming, when it happens,
And you don't like anybody. Like, they're
in
all
the
awful.
end,
I
ooh,
know.
I just love that she, like, actually made a female character that's, like, literally the worst person.
My question is I saw an interview with her when Gone Girl came out, and she said she's writing a sequel from the child's point of view 13 years later. And I've been waiting for it since that damn movie came out because I want it, and I haven't heard anything since.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. That I'm
I'm
like, please give me that
scared,
sequel. I want it. I want it. I want it. I want it.
but, like, I'm apprehensive. Like,
Yeah,
sometimes
but I'm
I'm
still curious.
scared, but I trust her because she's only released
4?
5 books, maybe 4 or
Yeah.
5 books. And it's been a long time since because Sharp Objects and Dark Places, those were both written before Gone Girl.
Yeah, but
And
they
after
the
Gone Girl,
adaptations came out after Gone Girl. I know that much.
yeah. And then Gone Girl was her last.
Yes.
She did a short story,
Yeah.
but even that's really good. Have you read that?
Which
The what was it called?
no, I don't think I've
The
read any
Grown Up?
short fiction from her. No.
It's so good. It's like a haunted house. You
You
never
got me
quite
there.
know like what's the truth. For a novella, I was like, "Oh, this is so good."
See, but I
Yeah,
like
only
that
4
kind of fiction
books.
in a novella form because it is short and concise. And
But I do have to say, like, it takes a really good author to do a novella, right?
yes, yes, I completely 100% agree.
Trust me, I read a lot of, like, romance novellas and I was like, "Oh, this is not good. Why did
Yeah,
you
I'm
make
in the
this
middle of one
novella?"
now, and I'm just like, why?
Like, you're tempted, like, "Oh, it's only 50 pages.
Right.
Quick read." You can't mess that up.
Like, my favorite for doing short fiction slash novella is Katie Robert.
Here
'Cause
for me, Katie Robert can be hit or miss.
okay, which one is your favorite?
I would say her Wicked Villain series is my
Yeah,
favorite.
A Worthy Opponent's my favorite out of that whole set.
That's a Hercules one, right?
That's the Hook and Tink one.
Okay, my favorite is a Hercules and Meg and Hades one.
That's my number two. Yep.
Okay. And then so when she came out with Neon Gods, I was like, "What is this?" You
I'm
literally just did
curious.
a Hades story,
Yeah,
like, literally
I
less
picked
than
them
a
up
year
because of
ago.
Katie. Yeah.
But it wasn't the same Hades, like, like, that whole series, I can't understand what's going like, it's
Really?
Greek mythology, but it's mob, but like, the fact that they're titles that you, like, just become,
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, why did you even call it Greek mythology?" Like, I get it, but it's so far removed.
I kind of want a different mythology now. Like I feel like we've done so many retellings with Greek specifically.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we're getting, like, African mythology
Like
or, like, non-European centric
like
mythology.
I saw one. I'll have to send the name to you. It's Egyptian mythology, and
Oh,
it's so
yeah.
interesting.
Rick Riordan did a series on that.
Yeah, that's the only series I haven't read from him so far.
I think that got optioned by Netflix, I could be wrong.
That or Disney Plus.
Percy
I know.
Jackson went to Disney Plus, I know
Yeah,
that for sure.
yeah.
But
I'm
that's
looking
my f
forward to that because the kids are actually the right age.
yeah, but now it's like, I wish, like, it's like, okay, I get it, but, like, it's too long. It's been out too long.
I know.
And I can't believe they're going to remake Harry Potter, like,
Yeah.
1 season being like, I'm happy that it's gonna be 1 season per book, so, like,
I
it's
just
gonna be different, but I was like, "Oh my goodness," like, first you have the J.K. Rowling drama,
yeah,
and
no.
then the fans are
That's why
going to hate.
I'm not gonna even bother.
Could you imagine those kids that they cast? They're literally going to be hated by a lot of the fans because
Who
they're
grew
like,
up with the
Daniel Radcliffe,
originals.
Emma, and Rupert are still around.
Yeah.
That's the part
And
that's
it's
so
not like
weird, it's
they're
not
like
that
old either.
long.
They're like my age. They're like my age. I'm like, why?
I heard, like, they had to do that because those 3 won't come back
Yeah, it makes sense.
because it's the J.K. Rowling and she hasn't backed down from it, that's the part.
She keeps on doubling down, and I'm just like, I'm good.
Like, you can like, that's, like, one instance where a creator has, like, ruined
Twitter. If, this is why I think a lot of authors shouldn't have Twitter.
like, the whole Fantastic Beasts movie and, like, teasing that, "Oh, Dumbledore and Grindelwald, they
I
had
didn't
this
understand
epic
the point
love
of that.
story," and then,
I
like, you
know.
watch the movies that, like, they're all both old, and you're focusing on Newt. I
I
was like,
know.
"Okay." I was like
I
This is just
know, I
and
agree.
Cursed Child did even more damage to the Harry Potter brand. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, I know. Ugh.
There's something to be said about leaving a good story alone,
Yeah,
unless you really have a good idea.
yeah. Like I feel that way. Like, don't get me wrong, I really want George R. R. Martin to finish the series, but like the first three books are fantastic as is.
I'm so scared. I want to read that series, but everyone says like, even though it's not finished, it's still one of the most worthwhile.
I completely like. I hate to be like with the crowd. I completely agree. It's worthwhile. Do I still want book 6 and 7? Yes, but I still enjoyed reading 1 through 5.
I feel like the TV show ruined it because like that's the end. That's like more or less the ending.
The TV show diverged from the books drastically after season 3.
But didn't I think George R. R. Martin like said he shared that like the true ending
Yeah,
with the show creators, so like they knew where.
but they didn't go about it the right way, I think.
Yeah, Game of Thrones really ruined that last season. Burned.
I feel like the last 3 were kind of not great.
Honestly, like I was my biggest problem with Game of Thrones was like, yo, stop bringing on characters of color and just making them either servants or just mindless warriors
Oh, I
or
agree.
just characters that get killed off.
I agree. And when I was watching the the reinterpretation of Anne Rice's interview with the vampire, I was like, wait, I know him from somewhere, and he was the one guy from Game of Thrones. I was like, that's why. That's where I know him from.
This is my sign to rewatch the interview with the vampire for the 15th time.
I'm going to because it's amazing. I'm not gonna watch season 2 of Mayfair, which is because what the hell was that?
All they had to do to get me to watch Mayfair, which is just whisper Louis and Lestat. And I'm like, I'm
I
dead.
know.
I'm here. I'm a simp.
Well,
Like,
I was
oh
just
my
curious
goodness.
because uh, at a certain point in the book they converge. The Mayfair
Yeah.
Witches and Lestat. I only ever read to book 3 in the Lestat Chronicles or Vampire Chronicles, whatever it's called.
I think they will because like they purposely said that they're building out a like a whole interconnected Anne Rice world.
They're filming season 2 now. They're in Budapest. I
I saw
follow
some of the
all of it because I
leaks.
want to know.
I want to know too. Like, I
I
can't
want to know so
wait.
bad.
I'm just happy that both shows are doing well.
Yeah, I just don't understand why people are watching Mayfair
I feel
Witches
like people. I feel like people like Mayfair. I feel like some people who don't like Interview with the Vampire love Mayfair Witches
or vice versa.
because they're very different shows. I mean,
Yeah,
like I thought Interview with like Mayfair was gonna be like Interview, and it
yeah.
wasn't.
I was hoping that they were going to fix some of the gross things with Mayfair,
Yeah. What
and
was
they
that
didn't.
demon? What was his
Lasher,
name?
Lasher.
I was like Rowan. Just go with Lasher. He gets Cyprian.
I liked Cyprian. He was my favorite. He was the only
It
character I
was
liked in that
so
whole damn show.
annoying.
I
He
know,
was
but he was like
so
the voice of reason,
annoying. I
and
feel like
everybody
I
else
wish
was
he just like
gross.
leaned more into like the horror of
Yeah,
this family because it is a horror.
in many different ways. Yes,
Like trust me, I watched what's forgetting her channel
the
name.
naughty librarian.
Yes, Amanda
Yeah,
from the Naughty Librarian. Her breakdowns. I was like, oh my
and I'm like,
goodness.
I literally told her, I'm like, I read the first one. Don't continue, and she kept on reading. I'm like, don't do it. It's just don't do it.
I had to give Anne Rice her props for writing that and making it literary. That
But
is
I'm just so
impressive
shocked that it got released considering the content in it.
because I think she was able to like because I think her writing is very literary esque.
Yeah.
I think
Her
you can get
writing's not for
away
me.
with a lot more because like
Yeah.
it's a horror and it's like a gothic
In many
southern
different ways.
epic. Like I couldn't stand the book. I couldn't make it through. I was like, okay.
It was 1,000 pages of just why.
It's like Stephen
I
King. I
read
was
that
like,
whole
this is a
thing.
little bit
Okay, I
too
can. It's
over.
burned in my brain.
This is like too like drawn out.
There was 400 pages
And
that didn't need to be there,
she's like, let me go over the history of the of all these Mayfair women. And you're like, did I really need to know that?
and a lot of questionable things happening.
Oh yeah, there's like ton of incest in that family.
hmm And it made me
Oh
so
yeah,
uncomfortable.
once you figure out that Uncle Cortland is actually
Yeah.
Rowan's dad.
Ugh, ugh, Spoiler, but please don't read it because it's not good. Um,
I mean, like, it's a spoiler. It's been out for like years.
it came out the year I was born.
It's like one of those things. Like, can you not like? Is it? Can you not spoil Harry Potter? Like, it's been out for
I
too
know.
long.
I had someone comment on one of my live shows, like after it got posted,
Yeah,
about me like ruining the ending of a classic. I'm like, it came out in like 1880. Like, um, okay, like,
here's my thing. Like, spoilers. If the spoiler ruins the story wasn't good enough in the first
well, that's my
place.
thing is I don't get offended by like I don't spoilers don't bug me. I
Yeah, some
also if
people.
I
I
still
get
want
like
to
some
read the
people
book,
not
I'll still
wanting
read a
to.
book.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it changes what you look for. Because then you're like, if you know what's going to happen going in, you may like read things a little bit differently.
Right.
I
And like
still feel like a
especially
good
when it
book.
comes to like for some for people like trigger warnings. Like I don't think trigger warnings is a or like content warnings are a spoiler
No,
personally.
I don't believe that.
I
I
don't
wish I heeded this one on this dark romance I read. I was like, I'm even disturbed, and that's saying a lot. If
yeah.
if you want to read it, it's listed
Right.
by what?
Like
Who's
I
it
got
by?
yelled at on Twitter for putting a content warning in my review. I'm like the author was fine with it. He reshared my review. Like I'm sorry, sir, that you have your panties in a wad, but
Listed by Nikita. Don't read that. I don't think you can handle that one.
okay. I still have it on my Kindle though.
This was a new release. It's a novella,
Oh,
and
new one. I
I
still
am
have that one on my
disturbed.
Kindle.
I was disturbed by reading it,
And you have a
and
higher
that says
threshold than I do.
something. I'll give you a little taste. So it follows a family, a normal family, until the family has a really sick tradition where the
No.
husband kills the mother, marries the daughter, and then will go through all of his daughters until they bear him a son, until he gets
No,
another
thank you.
son to continue on the family tradition.
No, thank you.
And the
That's a
heroine
huge
hooks up with
no
her
for me.
brother. And the heroine hooks up with her brother.
I have a lot of siblings. I don't want to think about that. That's just no.
Yep. Yep.
Ew. Okay, that's
Yep.
definitely not for me.
It is. It's something.
That's as much as you can give it. But to get back to our non-tangent,
Yes.
I enjoyed this, but I see why people don't like it. So, like,
Yep.
if you want to dip your toes into horror and see if you like horror, I recommend this. I'm gonna downgrade my rating to like a 4 because I like the writing. You said you haven't rated it yet, right?
I think I will stay with the 3.
3. I figured
I
you would.
might I would say because I think it's fair because I love the first half.
Yeah,
I didn't like the second half.
I didn't like after the reveal. I loved before the
I think
reveal.
that was, like, about halfway through the book when it or somewhere it was close-ish.
It was like 51% in, I think.
Yeah, it was closest to the midway point, so, like, I love that build up, and
Yeah.
then when it
Like
got
he
out,
writes
Adelaide was like,
atmosphere
"Whatever."
fantastically. Like he writes like the dread of whatever she's afraid of very well.
Mhm.
That's why I think you would like his shorter fiction, like The Changeling. It's only like
Okay.
3 hours on audio, so like 150-ish pages. So
Yeah,
good.
that's not bad. That's
So
not
good.
bad.
I recommend the audio. The audio I don't know off the top of my head who does the audio, but it's great
Let
for that.
me add that so I don't forget. But I almost wish that the author kept things vague. And, like, we never I love when some things do that where you never quite know what it
The
actually
open
was.
ending? Yeah.
I kinda love those because I think one of the
But it
things
has to
that
be the right author. I think he could do it with the way he
and I
writes.
think he can do it. I think where
Yeah.
he ran into a lot of issues was, like, "Okay, where do I take this?"
Trying to wrap it up.
Because like, once Elizabeth got out, Adelaide was like, "Oh, I hope she's dead." I was like,
Or like she
"Okay."
disappeared for 2 months. I don't have to worry about her. Like that was where I was like, what is
All this
happening?
animal cruelty, I was very angry, like, "What do these horses ever do to you?"
I know. And being a horseback rider myself or a former one, just that bugs me.
Wait, did you know The Changeling's gonna be a TV show?
I heard, yeah. I think it
Yeah,
would be
Apple
honestly, I think it
TV.
would be a fantastic. I'm hoping it would be a fantastic adaptation because it's a great book.
Apple TV with Lakeith Stanfield, if you know who that actor is.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, it's I just went to, like, the blur like, the page on Amazon, and it's in development as an Apple TV series, and
Okay.
I enjoy Apple TV.
That's the only one that I don't have.
I recommend it just for Ted Lasso
Yeah.
alone.
Well, I watched it for Schmigadoon. I don't know if you've watched that.
Oh, yeah, I'm watching season 2 right now.
I love it because I'm a musical theater nut. So like,
Trust me, you will love I think you will love they have a really great romantic suspense series.
okay,
I forgot what it's called. It's Surface or something like that?
okay,
And the twist got me. I was like, "Whoa." It was really good, and it sets up the 2nd season so well.
okay.
But you have to watch Ted Lasso.
I've never watched it. I have to. I know.
Ted Lasso is like I don't even know how to describe it. It's
It's
like
three
good
seasons,
people
right?
yeah,
Okay.
it's essentially just like good people trying to be better. Like,
Okay.
that's the whole premise of the show. I
That's
was
what I
like,
was trying to like. I was trying to figure out what the show was about because like the trailers don't really tell you.
well,
Like,
it's like oh, like a quick premise, like, you have American soccer coach no, American
mhm.
football coach. He gets a coaching job coaching for football in the UK
Isn't it
in England.
Manchester or something?
No, it's a different team. It's like some
Okay.
I think it's not Manchester, it's a different team, I think so, maybe, I could be wrong. But, he goes there to coach. He doesn't really know anything about football, the team is failing, and the owner, Rebecca,
Okay.
basically got it as a part of her divorce settlement from her husband who used to own the team. So she
Okay.
wants to ruin the team, hence why she hired Ted,
Someone that doesn't know anything.
the
Makes
one who
sense.
doesn't know anything, but then as the team develops and gets to know each other, they kind of, like, discover, like, something really nice, and it has a really great relationship with therapy. Like, the
Okay.
2nd season is all about the characters going to a therapist.
Okay, cool. I've heard things because the one character reads a lot. I don't
You
know
would
which
like
one.
Roy. You would like Roy and
Okay, that's all
Keely.
I've heard. I don't know specifics. I just know that the one character reads a lot and people read like his list
Yeah,
of books that he reads in the show or something.
yeah,
A
it's
lot of
like one
people
of
are
my
making
favorite
that.
shows. I
Okay,
refuse to watch
awesome.
the season finale because I heard things.
Oh, yeah, I
I
hate that.
heard things that, like, people think, like, that was the end.
Well, isn't it over? Or is it open for season
Technically,
4?
the star of the show, they basically said, like, they constructed it as a 3-season show.
Okay, so
So,
different
like, people
stages.
think they're done, but it's, like, literally one of the most popular shows on Apple TV.
So there's enough there that it could possibly go into another season
There's enough
or like an
characters you can
offshoot.
spin it off and
Yeah.
follow different characters.
Okay. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah. But back to the book. I give it a
I know.
3. I will read The Changeling
I think you would like that
probably
better.
in the next couple of days because I need to finish Legends and Latte first. I think I'm at the same place you are.
I'm on
About
chapter
5 chapters from
22.
the end.
Yeah. I'm on like chapter 22.
Where am I? I think
And I
I'm.
don't know what your audio is like, but my audio shows the last hour of the audiobook is like a side story that's not written in the actual book that I'm
Yeah, same.
okay.
I think I'm in the part where Fenris burned down, tried to burn down the cafe or something like that.
Yeah, that's
I
right
think
where I
that's where
stopped.
I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So I will finish that and then I will hop
I have
in
to finish
to the
Kindred because I haven't finished
Changeling.
that yet.
Oh yeah. No, okay, then after that, I meant that because I have to
Okay.
return Kindred back to the library, so I'll probably finish that.
Okay.
I'm trying to be more thoughtful, so, like, instead of
Me
reading
too with
15 books
my
at one
library holds.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
It's
try for
hard though
library holds, I
sometimes.
just get, like, backlist.
Yeah.
I'm becoming
That's
a
what's so
fan of
hard.
backlists because new keeping with new releases is too hard.
Especially with the library, like there's like so many holds on new releases specifically.
Like, new releases, okay, you're 1 out of, like, 50
Yeah. I
or
know the one
49
book
out
I
of
want is like I'm the 86th person in line and I'll get it in like 6 months. Like,
like, I wanted to read the
okay.
Prince Harry, like, biography, like, autobiography,
I
and
don't
I was,
care.
like, 150 out of 300. I was like, "I'm never getting this book anytime
Like,
soon."
like I like him as a person. I just don't really care.
I like the Royals, like, it's, like, a fun trash it's, like, a fun thing to, like, obsess
I
over.
went through an obsession with Princess Diana when I was in high school.
Who hasn't?
I know. I have like four of her biographies in my book room.
That's, like, crazy, like, Charles is like, "I'm still here," but people are like, "But what about Diana?"
Yeah. That's why everybody was like, "Well, didn't you watch the coronation?" I'm like, "But why?" I didn't care.
Yeah, it's a, like it's a interesting institution and why Britain still keeps it when most of the world has done away with their monarchies.
I know.
Because like, they taxpayers go to them,
Yeah,
so they're
completely.
funded by the English
But by the
society.
people. Yeah. But since we're kind of going off, I'll end
Yes.
it here. I think the next month we're gonna move it to my channel. I think. I have to
Bet.
talk to the rest of the people that are in the group to figure out who is comfortable with moving over to my channel. But thank you, Charles, for joining me. So I wasn't by myself. I appreciate it. And I will make it public once we figure out what July's book will be.
Who's picking July?
Don't know.
I
I know
think
that
it's
there's a
Ryan,
maybe Ryan. I think because this one was me. Um,
and I
the
was a
Lava one was
month
me.
before you,
Yeah.
and then Aaron was it?
Well, because Aaron made a suggestion in Voxer, the power by he wanted me to do it eventually. So I don't
Okay,
know
we
if
can
it's
talk
this
about
one.
that.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
possible. But thank you for my co-host, and thank you for everybody watching now, and everybody watching on the replay. Have a great night.
Have a good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.